All right, thank you for staying with us. You're now watching the entrepreneur segment of the weekend show. My name is Zainab Adetola, and today we'll be discussing something very exciting. When you think about software development, you're often thinking about engineering, maybe computers, all the back end, and all the codes that they write. But what about software development in relation to artificial intelligence, communication, and branding? Well, my guest on Entrepreneur Spotlight today is the founder of CTO Lognetics. He is a software developer with expertise in artificial intelligence, communication, and also branding. And he'll be helping us bring all of those things together on the program today. Well, good morning, Emmanuel Izinago. Thank you for joining us on Entrepreneur Spotlight today.
Thank you so much.
I really found it interesting when you said Lognetics. I was like, is that something to do with logistics? And then we had that conversation. So I really would like us to start from, on a general, looking at it generally, how does software development look like in Nigeria today? What's the trend with software development in Nigeria?
Okay, the trend with software development, I feel it's more personal related than it is something generalistic or something being handled by the government or any private institute. So software development has been something an individual will engage in, whether because of the state of the country or probably he has an interest in that area, right? Want to create something, creating software, working with programs, working with codes, right? So it's a personal interest. It's not motivated by the government's sponsoring you or a private institution training you in all those sorts. That's just basically it in Nigeria, right? So it's more of something personal than it is.
So you think that as a country or, the sectors that operate in the country are not maximizing software development?
Yes, there's been little support, right, to the development of software and software engineering in general. Only of recent, do you see the government getting on board to try and see how they can develop software and develop artificial intelligence? I think with the latest NITDA, having a digital training for artificial intelligence and machine learning, trying to develop Nigerian youths to see how they can venture into that space. But only up until then, it has been a personal ride. Right? Okay, you and your colleagues or you and your classmates or friends, it's something you guys engage in. Probably you find it interesting. Probably you're not the type that's engaged in social activity. So it's something that you find comfort in doing. So it's more of a personal thing up until recent. And with the involvement of government recently in technology development, we cannot say yet. It's still at its early stage, right? But then it's important that the interest is there and then the initiative is there.
Let's come to interest and how do we describe it now? When I used to think of software development, I used to think of backroom with a lot of computers and trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work in the computers and all that. But you're not talking of it in terms of working with businesses and actually using it for communication and branding. Okay. And I would like us to start from how relevant is software development to businesses in Nigeria? Let's bring this home now.
Okay, so it cannot be overstated. It's very important. It's very crucial. You can check developing countries and then see what is driving their economy, right? The most profitable brand in the world, Apple, right, is a technology-enabled company, right? Okay. So it cannot be overstated. And then having software involved in business, it's more like the future and it's more like what is already going on, right? So gone are those days where you have the manual or analog ways of processing information and handling your business or pushing your product out there, right? Now it's more of, okay, how can you automate a couple of tasks in your business processes? And that is very important because if you can do that in your business, it can enable you save costs, right? So something that...
And every business owner wants to save costs.
Yes.
Just believe that.
Definitely, definitely. And so imagine a situation where they say routine task in your business process where you have to employ, say, 20 or 30 people to carry out that task. Now you can write a program or a software that does that in just a second, right? and then it automates that whole process, right? So you have that saving cost products, right? That can enable you really boost your business processes and
You are
everything.
speaking to people's fear about AI taking their jobs.
Well, I watched a conversation only of recent when someone said AI taking their jobs, right? But with any emerging technologies, right, it causes disruption, and that disruption basically shuffles the environment. And by shuffling that environment, it exposes new opportunities and then new avenues for people to gain new skills and everything. Though the upcoming skills and upcoming jobs that may emerge, right, are more technical inclined, right? Because if you notice with the change of with the advent of internet, right, and then how it disrupted the initial way of doing business, you find out that that created more avenues for jobs like web developers and then software engineers and then data analysts and
That's
AIs.
still just a nice way of
right?
saying AI will take your job. I mean, so go and upskill. Now
Yeah,
let's come
exactly.
to CTO Lognetics and what you do. Software development, AI, and branding. How does this three, how do they merge? Where do they meet?
Okay, so the concept is what Lognetics actually does is branding in general, right? But then when people hear branding, they do not break it down into what it entails, right? So as an individual, you can be a brand, right? And then you ask yourself, how then do you market yourself, or how then do you push yourself out there, right? And that involves a whole lot of fields and a whole lot of activities to be done. First of all, you have to, identify what you want to display yourself out there as, right? And that's where the whole idea of brand strategy comes in, right? Okay, what do you want to market? What are you selling, right? And then after that, you think of, okay, what are the ways in which we can promote you, push you out there? Because we are in a technology advanced environment, right? You have to use technology tools to do that. And that's where, okay, part of the ways in which you can promote yourself and push yourself out there is to involve software engineering, right? Whether you need a web application to do that, like I said initially, automating some processes. So you use software to do that, right? Whether you need to, you need a mobile application that needs that people need to use to interact with your own business, right? For example, now most of the banking apps that we use, right? Initially, normally what we do in the past is to go to the banks and then do whatever deposits or withdrawals that we need to do, right? But now what you have is you have a mobile app, you just punch your pins and everything, and then you can do all the transactions that you can, right? So software is just that aspect of branding that has to do with what programs can we use to push your business, push your brand out there. But branding as a whole
you sort of take the brand or the business and say that what softwares, what applications, or what does this business need to become better? What are those software products that this business needs to get better and be properly branded, right?
Yes, exactly. But also it's not limited to just software, right? Like I said, and that's basically the aspect that my expertise is in, right? But it's not limited to just software. There are other aspects to it. For example, now when you want to talk about promoting yourself, marketing, then you see digital marketing, like, okay, software doesn't have any impact there, right? Okay, what type of designs will you do? What type of video animations will you do? Right? What niche of the market will you apply to? Okay, which platform is best for you to go about promoting your business, right? So that is the whole concept of branding, and that's what it encompasses in all, basically.
All right, just before we let you go, also tell us, if you are speaking to business owners looking to introduce software engineering into their businesses, where would you tell them to start from? What would you tell them to prioritize?
Okay, first of all, you would need experts to come in, right?
Okay. I mean, people like you.
Or hopefully. So you need experts to come in, and then you need them to be able to analyze your business, basically, and then basically identify those areas, because it's not all areas that software takes over. It doesn't. You don't just go and sleep and then it runs your business, right?
Yeah.
So there are specific areas where you can involve software in, and then you can have those areas either reduce costs, improve performance, or ensure efficiency in the delivery, right? So that's analysis. That's where you need the experts in, just identifying which areas of your business do you need to basically evolve software.
So yeah, they need to get the experts in to do that,
Yes.
make that decision for them.
Okay.
If people want to follow you, maybe on social media, where can they find you?
Okay, at Tochi Izanagu, or you can follow me on Twitter at Izanagu Emmanuel 3. Yes.
All right, then, with that, it's a wrap on Entrepreneur Spotlight on the Weekend Show. More exciting segments coming your way, especially with the entertainment segment, also breakfast still coming your way, and a lot more for you on the show this morning. Stay with us. My name is Zainab Aditola, and see you next week.